Hi children, did you hear about the pyramids? So Egyptians are the famous here regarding this pyramids. So they have constructed that, the olden ancient, the people who have died over there. See, this is linked to that are ecological pyramids. So one of the scientists who have been invented that the pyramid, which shows that the ecological relationship here between the organisms, and he explained the food chain and how the organisms have been depends upon that the other organisms for their food especially. So let's have a glance of this ecological pyramids. So one of the scientists who have been introduced that the ecological pyramids, Charles Elton. So he is a scientist who have introduced that the ecological pyramids. What is meant by the ecological pyramids? Here is the definition. Ecological pyramids are the graphical representation of the trophic structures of ecosystems. Trophic levels of a feeding position in a food chain such as primary producers, herbivores, primary carnivores. Primary herbivores, carnivores, do you know the meanings of this? So herbivores are only the grass eating animals, carnivores are the flesh eating animals. So in a food chain, each level, every time the food chain will start with that of producers. So the producers here, which are eaten by that of herbivores, and that herbivores are eaten by that of primary consumers to that of secondary consumers, tertiary consumers. So the each level we can call it as a trophic level. Here is that ecological pyramids are nothing but they shows that interrelationship between these organisms, herbivores, carnivores, or else decomposers, the interrelationships with the explanation of that a pyramid. So let's have that ecological pyramids. Does this pyramid represents that a food chain or a web? A chain because of there is only one organism at each trophic level. So if you see that the grass, grasshopper, frog, snake and the hawk. So each trophic level which shows that here interdependency of an organism for their food. And here a chain because there is only one organism at each trophic level. So it is only the food chain which shows that only one organism is going to be depend upon that the feeding mechanism. If it is a number of organisms, then we can call it as a food web. So let's see that the trophic levels here. The trophic level, it is a position of an organism occupies in a food chain. Each link in the chain represents that a trophic level. So each one which is showing that a one of the trophic level. So first trophic level, second trophic level, third trophic level and the fourth trophic level, and it is the trophic level which is from downward to that of upward direction. When you take that examples of this, phytoplanktons, zooplankton, small fishes, larger fishes and the shark. When you take this example of this grass, grasshopper, frog, snake and the eagle. So this is what each trophic level here represents that depending upon that other organism for their food. So ecological pyramids are of three types, that is pyramid of biomass, pyramid of number, pyramid of energy. So there are three types of pyramids are there. Pyramid of energy, pyramid of biomass, pyramid of number. Let's see here pyramid of energy, pyramid of biomass and the pyramid of number. Then where these three types, energy, population size and the biomass, total mass of the living organisms in a trophic level, base represents that producer size and decreases higher trophic level. Wherever it is the pyramid which shows that the base it represents that a producers itself. It's not having any organism other than this producers. So let's see here pyramid of number represents that a number of organisms each trophic level. Lot of relationships between the number of herbivores, first level carnivores, second level carnivores and fourth. So shape varies from the ecosystems to ecosystem because the number of organisms at each trophic level is variable. So here the pyramid of number in each trophic level, the number of organisms present in each trophic level is called as pyramid of number, and it is different from that of taking one ecosystem to that of other ecosystem. So when you are comparing with that of terrestrial and aquatic ecosystems, it is different. When you are taking that of producers, it is different. Number of organisms present in each trophic level is called as here pyramid of number. Where the next one is, if you take the two pyramids, usually the pyramid is in an upright condition, where this one is a inverted condition and spindle shaped. For what the example it is, but some may have that a large spindle plant, single plant or a tree, and the producers or the base is individual. If you take that only one pyramid, like when you are taking that one tree, depending upon that the insects are more, and not this birds number of organisms that equal to that of insects. So the insects will be more when comparing with that of birds. So this is not look like as a pyramid itself. So when it is taking that organisms of aquatic organisms, when you are taking that of in an ocean or a marine, anything, as we can take that the phytoplanktons, zooplanktons and the small fishes, biggest fishes, when you are taking this pyramid is inverted condition. So let's have a glance of this pyramid of biomass. So living content present in the each trophic level, it is called as pyramid of biomass. Quantity of living matter in each trophic level, which is known as here pyramid of biomass. So the biomass is defined as the total weight of the dry matter, dry weight present in each ecosystem at any time. The biomass can be measured graphically. Pyramid of number shows that a relative number of individual organisms at each trophic level. So it completely depends upon that the living content present in each trophic level completely depends upon that a process, which is the ultimate life process is called as here photosynthesis. If that producers are not able to done this process, then the herbivores and the carnivores, depending upon these, all the organisms will be shows that less quantity of the living matter. So let's go over that. Over the next one is here pyramid of biomass. So oak tree and caterpillar and bullet and the sparrowhawk. Ecologists draw a pyramid of biomass by the weighing of all the organisms at each stage of food chain. The mass of the producers is larger than that of a mass of the consumers to give a typical pyramid shape. That means here, if that the large producers, if the number will be depends upon that the living content here. So whatever here, if it is food is not there, the number will be also decreases. So when the producers to that of a top carnivores, the number will be decreases, while from producers to top carnivores. The content of the biomass is also like that, because it is depends upon that a completely organisms feeding mechanism. So if that food is not available, then the organisms number will be decreased and the content of the biomass is also will be decreases. So that is what where the pyramid of biomass, which is usually it will be on the terrestrial, it just takes whenever we are taking that grasshopper, in that way it is just like as a triangle shape. When that means it is an upright condition. When we are taking that, whenever it is only one tree or it is taking off the zooplanktons or else phytoplanktons in a marine ecosystem, it will be inverted condition. So here you can see that upright condition and the inverted condition of this. The pyramid of energy. Each trophic level, how much of energy it just obtained from that of the sunlight. So producers, primary consumers, secondary consumers and the tertiary consumers. In a pyramid we can see these are all the trophic levels. So ultimate energy source is sunlight. The producers which can be able to take this as sunlight, that means obtain this as sunlight and uses for that photosynthesis process for the production of that food, especially the producers which is utilizes the energy and transfers that energy to that of next level of the food chain, that is primary consumers, secondary consumers and tertiary consumers. So 90% of energy it just utilizes, only the 10% it just transfers to that of one trophic level to other trophic level. So this we can call it as 10% law, where if you are taking that 10,000 kilocalories of energy, the 10% will be transferred to the primary consumers, that means 1000, whereas that secondary consumers 100, whereas that tertiary consumers 10 kilocalories. If you are taking that to decomposes, then it will be like 0.1. That's the reason here the very less energy levels will be there in that of decomposers. So, we couldn't show that in the pyramids as decomposers at the last level of that pyramid, top carnivores we will show. So, is that a graphic representation of the flow of energy through the each trophic level of food chain over a fixed time of a period. It is also known as pyramid of productivity. Why we are calling it as a productivity is in the sense where this energy, whenever it is produces, when the energy is not there is no organism will be survive in this each trophic level. So, that the energy will be taken up by the utilizing for all the life processes, and then they will be utilizes, the remaining will be in the form of heat, either plants or the animals, and that 10% of energy will be transferred to the next level. So, that is what here the pyramid of energy. If you take here the example of light or the chemical energy, the light energy will be fixed into that of chemical energy by the process of photosynthesis, where this 100% of energy will be utilizes, only the 10% can be transferred to that of next level. So, you can see here 100, 10, 1 and 0.1, the energy levels will be from producers to the top carnivores, it will be decreases. This is what as it just inverted in that of pond ecosystem. So, primary producers, primary consumers, secondary consumers and the tertiary consumers. If you are taking that a pond ecosystem, phytoplanktons are negligible here. That is the reason as it just in an inverted condition. Zooplanktons and the small fishes will be more, whereas comparing with that of small fishes, the largest fishes will be more, where the grasslands ecosystem upright condition. So, these are the grassland ecosystem which shows that at the producers level and depending upon that mice, whereas that snake and the eagle. So, primary producers, whereas that producers primary consumers, secondary consumers and the tertiary consumers. So, usually it will be in a upright condition. The pyramid of biomass in the oceans. So, it just not look like as a pyramid, phytoplanktons and the zooplanktons, when phytoplanktons will be very less comparing with the zooplanktons. So, limitations of the ecological pyramids. It assumes a simple food chain, something that almost never exists in the nature. It does not consider a food web. It does not take into account of a same species belonging to the two or more trophic level. Doesn't show that of a food relationship in a food web as in the form of, and one more thing here, two or more trophic level we cannot able to show regarding this pyramids. So, Charles Elton has been exception of these two cases. He have been explained about that of the interrelationship of organisms, especially for their survival. Hope you understand this. Thank you.